Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. So the latest of the films that didn't go wide release in theaters, didn't make much money, or found their way onto the internet. The latest of these is a film called The Field Guide to Evil, and this is produced by Tim League, who is the owner of the Alamo Drafthouse, and he crowdfunded over 500 grand to make what is apparently 8 short horror films. Well, and now, like any anthology film, particularly in horror genre, there are going to be films that there are going to be shorts that you like, you don't like, and that goes to a varying degree of quality. And the first story here is called, and it comes from Austria actually. The first one here is called The Simple Women of Hallfeld, aka Die Trud. And this is co-written and co-directed by Veronica Franz, Severin Fennell. And this is a story about a group of women who live in a village. Apparently no men are around. If there are men around, who knows. But this is set in the Middle Ages. And I guess one woman has another attraction to another woman. One woman, she oversees this other woman pound herself with a rock to make herself bleed in order to convince the woman, hey, yeah, she's having irregular periods because she doesn't want to get pregnant and be ostracized. The one who lives with her clearly thinks that's a sin. Obviously, she tells her daughter to pray dearly to God each day or a tread will get you. And then, of course, you know, these two ladies do have sex. Yes, the nasty. And one day she finds the goat dead. Her mother blames her and says, Trud's gonna get you. Now, what exactly is Trud? Well, apparently I looked this up actually, and it's the daughter of Thor and Sif. And apparently we come to learn that, oh yeah, one of these women in the village is indeed Trud. And this might be better off as a feature-length film than a short, because as a short, you don't get enough time to fully grasp the story. The second story on this list is Haunted by El Karish, the Childhood Jinn. This comes from Turkey, and this is directed by Pam Everin and Eli Dominic. And this is about a girl who's currently pregnant, and obviously she's taking care of this grandmother person, I think that it is. This is one of the more hard ones to figure out because this works or it doesn't. Apparently the myth here is in Turkey, I guess, that oh yeah, death, I guess considering this is a genie who takes children, can either come in the form of an old woman or a goat. Yes, this ends on a very downbeat note, a very heartbreaking note to be exact. The next story on this list here is The Kindler and the Virgin, and this is directed by Agnieszka Smosknia and written by Robert Molero. And this comes from Poland, so therefore the name of the director is so hard to pronounce. This is apparently about a guy who's accosted by two women who apparently tell him, oh yeah, if you eat the heart of virgins, you can gain eternal knowledge and you can survive wars, apparently. This story is one of the more batshit crazier stories I've come across, at least in a horror film, because the guy literally starts eating the hearts of people, I guess. And of course, he's then hauled up in elastic court because they caught him eating hearts. They dig up the coffins of one of these people and they come to discover, oh yeah, he actually ate the hearts of one of the women that cost him all along. In the end, he apparently survives a battle. And trust me folks, this story is such insane that I was just sort of like, okay, very well. Next story here is Beware the Melonheads. This comes from American writer-director Calvin Reeder. And this story basically takes place in the Northwest. This tells a couple who drives up to the mountains for a weekend getaway, and they have their kid with them. We obviously knew when that kid is involved, this is going to be a bad sign here. There's the woods that they hike in the back forest one day, and when they get there, he wanders off. He meets a kid, apparently, his face is never shown. And of course, they come to discover, oh yeah, there are kids in these woods who have large craniums. And they're evil. Again, this one is one of the more shorter ones that are around. Our next film here comes from Greece. It's called Whatever Happened to Paganos the Pagan. Written and directed by Yanis Vilsium. That after I immediately saw it, I immediately forgot about it because quite frankly, I literally don't understand what was presented to me. This is one of those shorts that I literally just think to yourself, okay, good, swing and a miss, move on. What this involves is a bunch of drunken people who are celebrating paganism, I guess, who come across, oh yeah, an actual goblin. And apparently, what do you know, the goblin's blood is beer. So the next story here is called The Palace of Horse, and this comes from us from India, and this is written and directed by Ashram Aluwali, I guess. And this is a Bengali folktale from 1913. And this is truer than this is really interesting, I guess. And this is set in black and white to make it atmospheric and moody and all the more terrifying. This is about a group of people that track to a remote temple, I think it is. I couldn't really tell. To get a creature from the Ringling Brothers circus. The local priestess is like, you don't want to go down there, and they bribe her with money. She's like, don't look at the creature directly. Man's eyes simply cannot take it. This one starts out with probably the most promise, then quickly dissolves into an unsatisfying resolution because we don't really see the creature. We do see one thing that happens to one guy, and it's particularly terrifying to figure out what happened to him. Then the main character sadly ends up in the hospital, and that's... The next one here comes from Germany, and it's called A Nocturnal Breath. Now, apparently within each of these stories, a little blurb explaining the lore behind each story. This one is about Adrud, and Adrud apparently is an evil entity that possesses your soul, that knocks you unconscious, and you better not wake up that person, because that person will die. The demon takes place of a rat who's making the lives miserable of the brother and I guess the sister farmer duo. He has to shoot a cow. Clearly he believes that he can help the sister, and we finally come to realize in the end, yes, you can't necessarily help someone in this condition. Now you would think to yourself, maybe if this was set in a more advanced era, maybe they come to realize, oh yeah, this is just a whole bunch of superstitious nonsense. The last of these stories here comes from the way of Hungary. Now this is partially based off an actual short story. It's called The Cobbler's Lot. And this tells the story of two brothers who are shoemakers. One has the eye on the princess of a local king, and the other is jealous of his brother because he's in love with the princess, basically. And this has the good decency, at least, of being a sort of a stage production silent play here. And in between we get intertitles, I guess. And when this one brother tells the king, oh yeah, I'm in love with your daughter, and the king goes like, okay, if you want to prove your love, go to the lake nearby, flowers from that lake, and be back here. Something happens to the brother, he falls into the lake, appears to drown. The other brother tries to capitalize off that, and the princess dies, apparently. What happens to these two brothers in the end is rather shocking, I guess. Now, which stories of these do I like? I like 3 of these. I like The Simple Woman, because that at least has some lesbian nudity in it. And I like the one from America, because at least, hey, look, it's American. And then I like the one from Hungary, because I think that at least has a good fortune of being silent. So folks, the rest, I'll be honest, I could take or leave. And I don't mean to say that with any malice. So in the end, folks, what I'm going to say about Feel God to Evil, I'm going to surprise myself and say I'm going to give this a Netflix ranking, because I think clearly some people will get a kick out of some of these shorts. So folks, A Field Guide to Evil, have you seen this? What did you think? Please put everything in the comment box below. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, enrich yourself in the knowledge. I'm going to see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.